We are coming to you from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avisail Garcia, Paul Konerko and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Derek Jeter and the 27-time world champion New York Yankees. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson, as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set and the finale of this three-game road trip. As you know, we lost game one 4-3. We lost yesterday 5-3. So we might be 0-2 in this series, but I know one thing. Jose Abreu is liking the big stage.
Jose Abreu came to the Big Apple for a big show, and he's putting it on because he is a big man. In this series, he's 4 for 7. He's hit a home run. He's driven in 4. He's played a very solid first base, but more than that, he's come through and hit the ball consistently hard. This is a guy making an impression on all of baseball, and if you can do it here in New York, as the saying goes, you can do it anywhere, and Jose can do it here in New York.
Well, another guy having some good success against the Yankees is our left-hander today.
We got the right man going to the mound to avoid the sweep in Chris Sale. Sale, over the course of his career, has been brilliant against the Yankees. No exception on May 22nd, where he went 6 innings, gave up only 1 hit, no runs, struck out 10, didn't walk anybody. But 3-0 lifetime with an ERA under 1 is spectacular, especially against a team that's been pretty good. He's facing a lot of right-hand hitters today, but Chris Sale always faces a lot of right-hand hitters, and he gets just about everybody out, so let's see if he can get them.
Well, hopefully Abreu and Sale can keep on keeping on. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
On Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Guys, they came in today. I think you see it on the news, and you're happy for them. I mean, it's exciting. For them, it's once in a lifetime because you don't get to go back and do this. There's not a next year. There's for some of those kids, it's the one time to do it, and I think it's just a special time in their life of playing, and I think the notoriety they're getting is great. It's always good. It's a good feel story. I mean, really, to have those kids playing there, and you don't want to have it be too much pressure for them, but on the other hand, you let it go. I think they're reacting to it great. I think you see the highlights and how they're doing it. They're fun to watch. The great part of Little League is you're trying to get kids to enjoy the game, and really when I was doing it, you wanted kids to want to play the next year. I think that was really the biggest thing. You want kids to kind of get a passion for playing and not just they're forced to play baseball. You want them to enjoy it and want to sign up the next year and play.
As they take on South Korea today. Welcome back to beautiful Yankee gorgeous day today, and let's see how Robin is going to line up our Sox for the afternoon. Alexei Ramirez in the 1 spot with Carlos Sanchez, who's had a pretty good series in the 2 spot. Then Jose Abreu, who's had a very good series. Avisail Garcia, Connor Gillespie. Paul Konerko, who's done well career-wise against the Yankees, and Diane Viciedo, Tyler Flowers, and Jordan Danks rounds it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Chris Capuano. It's Prado, Ichiro, and Wheeler in the outfield with Headley, Jeter, Ryan, and Tashir in the infield. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chris Capuano on for his 6th start. This is his 34th game. 1-3 ERA, .435. And he does have a very good changeup, as his 61 strikeouts and 62 innings would indicate. The umpires for the game today: the crew chief Mike Winters behind the plate, Andy Fletcher is at first, Mike McFlinsky at second, and Tom Woodring is at third. So in a game that's absolutely critical for the Yankees as far as wild card considerations, they're going to have to get by Chris Sale. Let's take a look at what the wild card looks like as we start play today. Oakland, LA tied in the West. They're +6. The loser of that's going to be in pretty good shape. The Mariners are second, followed closely by the Tigers, and then the Yankees 3.5 back. So it's going to be a tough climb for them, but they feel that they can make it. So we're ready to play baseball on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stevie, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Finale of this 3-game set and this brief 3-game road trip. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Alexei Ramirez in that leadoff spot. Alexei comes in at 286, 11 homers, and 59 driven in. And the first pitch of the ball game from Capuano. Takes the bunt, takes a strike. Sox come in hitting at 256 as a club with a 4.42 ERA. Sox 28 and 38 on the road. Not good. That ball hit hard. Get over his head. It will. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes. A quick strike by Alexei Ramirez, and the Sox lead it 1-0.
It's home run number 12 for Alexei. Here's our Ford home run replay, and this ball is up in the zone, and Capuano cannot get away with anything up in the zone. Not these days when he's stopping out at 88, 89 miles an hour. Alexei took advantage of it. He's now driven in 60 runs.
And here's Carlos Sanchez. 4 for 14. And 4 for 9 in this series. First pitch strike. And of course, with that home run by Alexei, the Alex Nellius family and White Sox Charities hook up in loving memory of Ursula. Gray Hopper.
And all of you watching out there, take a good look at number 2 at shortstop for the Yankees, because this is the last time he will ever play in a ball game against the Chicago White Sox.
I guess if there's one phrase to define him, it probably is the greatest shortstop who ever lived.
Well, if not the greatest, he's in the conversation, that's for sure.
For me, he's the greatest shortstop that ever lived.
What he's meant to this team on this, the biggest stage there is, and how he's performed in the postseason year after year, going out there even at the advanced age and playing middle infield, it's been a remarkable career.
Here's Abreu. There have been other shortstops physically who could do a little more than he could do. And there have been some shortstops who offensively could do a little more than he could do. But you put them all together. As Abreu fouls that back, you put them all together. And if there's an edge that puts him over the top, he had the stage.
And the mantle of captain, which is something that he didn't embrace at first because it kind of embarrassed him. He's not that kind of a guy. So they pretty much said, look, you know, be the captain. You're the guy out there. And I think at first he reluctantly took it. Then obviously he's grown into the role rather nicely.
Well, how many other shortstops, Steve, have as many World Series championship rings as he has?
No, you won't find too many.
That defines it.
That's it.
Greatest shortstop that ever lived. Abreu 4 for 7 with a homer and 4 RBIs in this series. Outfield straight up, spread out and deep. That's high into left center field. That's a can of corn for each row. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, they went with Avisail. Steve's going with Konerko and Beth Grabowski, Joe Simmons, Martha Black. We're going to go with Alexei Ramirez, who hit that home run. Here's Avi. Avi at 241, 3 homers. He's driven in 10.
That's going to be the one pitch that determines the outing of Chris Capuano, and that's his ability to keep the straight change down. If he does, he could have a good outing. If he doesn't, he's going to get lit up.
Tried to backdoor him with that breaking ball, missed. And here at the ballpark, 318 down the left field line, 314 down the right field line. 385 in deep right center, 399 in deep left center, and 408 straight away center.
Another straight change, and the Yankees got Capuano from the Colorado Rockies on July 24th of this year in exchange for cash considerations. So he had pretty good stuff. Made the National League All-Star team in 2006, but that changeup has been a mainstay since he came into the league.
And that'll do it, but the home run by Alexei Ramirez after a half inning of play. It's our guys won, and their guys coming to bat.
Derek Jeter to lead it off. Then it's Martin Prado, who's had a destructive series. Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, Chase Headley. Then it's Cervelli, Wheeler, Suzuki, and Ryan rounding it out. The defense and out of the lineup behind Chris Sale. Viciedo, Danks, and Garcia in the outfield with Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the ace, Chris Sale, on for his 21st start. He's 10-3 this year with a spectacular 2.12 ERA, 158 strikeouts and 136 innings. And if you can believe it, lately he's actually pitching in tough luck because he's dominated a whole lot of lineups and he's looking for his first win in a while.
So here is Jeter. Derek at 268, 3 homers, 32 driven in. Takes that fastball at 96 upstairs. Derek 1 for 5 in the series, and lifetime against Chris. Faced him 8 times, has 3 hits, 2 of which stayed in the park.
He's almost a 300 hitter career-wise against our Sox. And the only thing that Chris, to me, has to deal with today is the adrenaline factor. Number one, you're obviously pitching in New York. You're facing Derek Jeter in his last game. But also the fact is that he hasn't won a ball game since the end of July, July 26th to be exact. So he will be sky high for this one.
Well, it has not been because he pitched poorly.
No, he's actually thrown. He's thrown real well. He just has not got a win.
If he didn't have any bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. He and Jose Quintana. There's 1, 3-1 the count. The Yankees come in hitting at 249 as a club with a 3.85 team ERA. Yankees 32-31 here at home and 34-30 on the road. That's into center field. That's a can of corn.
He threw a straight change on 3-1, and Jeter looking fastball all the way, caught it off the end of the bat. It's a good battle back from a 3-0 count. As you can see, Chris has supreme confidence in his changeup. He doesn't want it up that high consistently, and you saw it where it was in our Menards pitch tracks. That being said, Danks, an easy play in center field.
So here's Martin Prado. 5 for 9 in this series with a homer and 5 RBIs. Had the game winner on Friday. And then yesterday, a big 2-run double. He was 3 for 4. Excellent pickup by Brian Cashman. I've got some numbers here that I want to thank everybody for from the ALS Association on the Ice Bucket Challenge, and just what a phenomenon indeed that was. In this same time frame last year, they had raised $2.4 million.
It's a bit more now, I believe.
In the same time frame this year, because of the Ice Bucket Challenge, they have raised $62.5 million.
It's been unbelievable.
It's been unbelievable, is right. Phenomenon. They have now 1.2 million new donors to the association. As he gone, 2 down.
Teixeira, switch hitter, has been a better hitter from the right side, but much more power left-handed, and 42 of his 53 RBIs have come left-handed.
That ball high into center field. Jordan Danks will wait for it, catch it, and that'll be the final out. After 1, it is 1-0 Good Guys.
Game brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Sox fans, no matter the force you use or the planet you're from, head out to the ballpark for Star Wars night on Friday, August 29th. You can come dressed in your best Star Wars attire and march in a pregame parade around the field. Also, the first 750 fans to purchase will receive a White Sox R2-D2 beanie.
It's a handsome beanie.
It is a handsome beanie for sure, with a Sox emblem on it. So far, especially price tickets, visit whitesox.com/Star Wars.
And I will tell you, the Sox logo really stands out.
Gillespie, Generico, Viciedo.
Connor's had a solid year. He's been consistent from the time he left spring training until now. Hitting the ball very hard. Among the league leaders in batting average. And if Connor can wait back, this particular left-hander is not going to give him all that much difficulty.
He's 6'3", 215 pounds, 35 years old, out of Scottsdale. Born in Springfield, Mass. There's a little soft 3-hopper.
Capuano got to the big leagues with Arizona in 2003. Had his best year by far in 2005 with Milwaukee at 18-12. Later made a trip to the Mets, the Dodgers. Now he finds himself in New York with the Yankees. Pretty much a do-or-die ball game every day because of the wild card. And there you look at the career numbers. 12 under 500 with an ERA about 4.25.
Well, we've got 33 games counting this one left, and I wish every one of them were do or die game.
It's the only thing that makes August and September exciting in this game, and that is if you're in the race. If you're not in the race, the only thing that you can make yourself get up each and every day if you're a player is knocking off the teams that are in the race. You have to play the role of spoiler. Tough position to be in, but the Sox are in that position.
Well, you got to take pride in being in that position. That's all you got.
Go out and win a ball game.
That's it.
And you and I talked about this yesterday. You're parts of 7 decades. I'm parts of 6. I've never known one team that took the field on a daily basis that didn't think they were going to win that day.
And you probably never will. Paulie can't get it. Part of the game, they had a nice presentation for Paulie. And presented by none other than the captain. One from one captain to another.
And both departing after this season.
And here is that presentation. I like my friend John here. I thought that was a cake they were presenting. That's what it looked like.
Looked like it for a second, but I think it's first base.
It is.
And I'm not sure what the writing was on top, but there was a lot of it. So it was signed by the entire Yankee team, and that will be something that'll go into the trophy case or the mantle. Paul Konerko back in Scottsdale.
Well, he's got a few mantles back in that home in Scottsdale.
Yes, a few. A few. Only one he's lacking is Mickey.
High into Wheeler territory. Zealous is there. 2 down. So here's Tank. Tank at 233, 16 homers, 47 driven in. Tank has faced Capuano 3 times, has 2 hits. Sox will conclude this game, the series, head on home. Off day tomorrow. Off day tomorrow. And then we have Cleveland for 3 and Detroit for 4. A doubleheader being next Saturday.
Cleveland just put Yan Gomes on the 7-day concussion list. So with Gomes not being there, it's going to be a lot easier to face a Tribe because he's a good one and he's got some power and he shuts down a running game.
And he hurts us with the bat.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's putting together a terrific year and he fought his way into the #1 catching spot, but he will be lost for a bit.
Two and 1 to count. And we got some big Sox fans looking in. Jennifer Bialek, Villa Park, and Jason Boggs in Naperville. With a lot of love from, well, I'm not going to even say who it is. Jimmy Dos Santos. That's low. Full count with 2 down. You're just tuning in. Leadoff homer by Alexei Ramirez, his 12th. He now has 60 RBIs. What a sensational season Alexei is having. And there's a base hit for Tank.
Good plate coverage because that pitch was in the zone, but it was low and away. Capuano going back to his bread and butter. That's the changeup. And Avisail able to take it through the hole on the left side.
Here's Tyler. Tyler at 238, 9 homers, 40 driven in. Out and around that one, down past Joe McEwing.
There's a look at Joe going through his set of signs. He's given the signs by Robin, and he gives them to Viciedo at first and to Tyler Flowers. That was probably hit a double in the gap sign.
Good pitch. 0-2 the count. Outfield straight up, spaced just about equidistant. Spread out. And a nice catch by one of the fans. Yankees averaging 42,982. Good job by Tyler. Off the plate, but close. As I mentioned in the opening, Yankees won game 1 4-3. Tough loss coming in the bottom of the ninth. Walk off. One and two the count, and last night they won it 5-3.
Pretty hard for these Yankees to compete on a daily basis with 4 starting pitchers on the disabled list, but they've been able to do it. Kudos to Joe Girardi for that. And Brian Cashman try to reload a little bit and get him a lot more talent.
Ball hit him, says Mike Winters. No argument right there from Cervelli.
That's a cutter inside. Tyler says it nipped the uniform.
So 2 on 2 out, and here is Jordan Danks. Jordan 2 for 7 in the series. We need a knock right here, Jordan. Takes first pitch strike. That one at 80 miles an hour.
That high fastball inside was to push him off the plate to make a little more room for how he wants to get him, which is away with the breaking ball. But he will throw his fastball up in the zone for strikes, and that makes him a little tougher.
Softly hit. Chopper 2 hopper. Good feed. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across towards the hitting Orioles. 2 left. And after an inning and a half, still 1-0 Sox.
Broadcast later in the game. Brought to you by AT&T.
It's the bottom of the second inning and a 1-0 Sox lead. For the Yankees, it'll be Beltran, Headley, and Cervelli.
This is going to be our last look at Derek Jeter as a player. You've seen him his entire career. What are some indelible impressions that you have of Derek Jeter?
A bunch. It's just, I think, as I said, he's truly a baseball icon. How he has carried himself and portrayed the essence of the game of baseball is undeniable. You just don't, when you get your George Bretts and your Cal Ripken Jr.'s and Derek Jeters, these guys don't come along. These are generational players. As I said, to me, he's the greatest shortstop that ever lived.
Well, when you're 14-time All-Star, you can get it done. Especially playing here in this city. Take a look at some of these numbers. 6th all-time in hits, 5 Gold Gloves, Rookie of the Year in '96, 5 World Series titles. It's been absolutely amazing.
Well, he's made it easier on every manager he's ever had.
Well, Joe, that's why when they put Joe Torre, retired his number, put him in Monument Park, he singled out Derek Jeter as the last player that he said something about. Because Joe, a Hall of Famer, recognizes the guy that helped him get the job done from the time he stepped into a Yankee uniform.
Well, it's still, it's not unusual or unreasonable, but there's still a lot of people who don't understand just how tough it is to play at this time.
Well, the annals of baseball are littered with guys who had no success here for a number of reasons.
That's exactly right. And there's some guys who can just, I know when I was a free agent, they called me up and wanted me to come here, and I just flat told them I cannot play in New York. First of all, the ballpark, the old Yankee Stadium, was just a death valley for right-handed hitters, except for Joe DiMaggio, who hit 46 home runs one year playing in Death Valley, which is, to me, is one of the great home run records in baseball history. But there's some guys who just couldn't play here. I mean, guys who had great talent. Joe Pepitone. We talked about a guy named Ed Whitson was a good pitcher. We talked about a guy, Kenny Rogers, who was a good pitcher. They just couldn't pitch here. They just couldn't play here. Other guys couldn't play here. When you have the stage and you can do what that Derek Jeter has done, what Mariano Rivera has done, which places him, the stage puts him, to me, in the all-time #1 spot.
Those 5 world titles are not going to be matched anytime soon.
I know it sounds way out there, but just from what we've seen for the last 20 years of Derek Jeter, it wouldn't surprise me one day. That's a fair ball by Headley right down the line. Tanks. Now, if he came up with it cleanly, would have had a shot at him, but
he just ruled a 2-base hit. And he took that one down. It was a changeup. Rifled it by Gillespie. And the camera off the wall made it so that if Avisail comes up with this cleanly, he probably will throw him out at second base, as Headley doesn't have the great speed. But as it turned out, the bobble and the easy double.
Picks up his 5th 2-bagger, and here is Francisco Cervelli. But going forward with Derek Jeter, it wouldn't surprise me one of 2 things. First of all, if he became an owner, a part owner of a ball club. And next of all, if he became, down the road, a commissioner, the commissioner of the game of baseball.
Well, I think maybe unlike some players, he realized there will be a very wonderful life after baseball. And I don't think he's decided yet what he wants to do. And Paulie said the same thing. I think they both need some distance for the game for a while. Then they'll figure it out. The thing I'll always remember about him is one thing, and it was not a baseball thing. He never failed to walk by me without saying hello, ever, from the time that I started going in to the Yankee clubhouse till this last trip.
Jacks it up. I think he does that to everybody.
It's just amazing, and you would think it's a little small, simple thing that doesn't take much time and doesn't take much effort. But there's a lot of people that can really appreciate that, especially when a majority of folks will not do what Derek Jeter does habitually.
Now, those small, simple things are sometimes enormous. As he gets him, he gone. 2 down.
Second strikeout for Chris Sale, and another changeup had Cervelli well out in front of it. That's the pitch, that changeup, as it's emerged for Chris Sale, that has taken a lot of the pressure off his elbow, because he throws sliders. He just doesn't have to throw as many of them because the straight change is devastating.
So here is Zealous Wheeler, 27-year-old outfielder. You know, the small little simple things. The greatest statement that I've ever heard given by a Hall of Fame inductee was by Robin Yount. And said he wanted to be remembered by the way he ran to first base.
Well, I remember him.
That's powerful.
That is
powerful.
Quite a statement. And obviously, along with Paul Molitor, when they played for Milwaukee, that was a twosome at the top. They both hustled every day they were on the field. And both Hall of Famers, not coincidentally.
The 0-2 pitch. Run on 2 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for their guys. Here in the second inning. Ball slicing. Watch out, Avi. Foul ball.
Garcia thought he had a shot at it and keeps his concentration, but looks like it hit off a fan's hand, but he didn't reach over, I don't believe. It was indeed a fan hand. Makes it a little more difficult to catch that one.
So the count hangs at a ball and 2 strikes. He gone. Breaking ball, 3 strikeouts. Wheeler the third, leading 1-0.
.10:30 on Sportsnet Central, the inspiring story of a man with cerebral palsy attempting to run the Chicago Marathon. Hear about his mission, the obstacles, and his unwavering determination. Tune in for this emotional story tonight at 10:30 on Sportsnet Central.
And here's Alexei Ramirez. He's the difference in this ball game with that leadoff line shot home run right over the State Farm sign. And if you miss that home run,
12 and 60 out of power numbers. Got a chance to lead off today.
First time he has homered from the leadoff spot.
But with the off day tomorrow, I think we're probably going to see Adam Eaton back in center field at the top of the lineup on Tuesday. And that will be a welcome sight to us and our fans.
Well, Jordan, as you mentioned yesterday, Jordan has done a good job filling in, but we are a much different ball club when Adam Eaton is in the lineup. He was 2 for 5 last night down at Charlotte. But the energy.
Well, he's also in the top 10 in hitting. He's hitting .304.
He just makes things happen. That's different ball club.
If he comes back and does exactly what he can do the rest of the way, Abreu will have 115, 120 runs batted in before this is over.
Full count to Ramirez. Wheeler. Good pitch by Capuano. And here comes Carlos. Sanchez grounded out to Jeter.
And the Yankee corners, Headley at third and Teixeira at first, are thinking there's a possibility of a bunt because they're both in a step in front of the bag.
Starts him off with a changeup, almost like a screwball. Little Mags. Looks just like a young Mags Ordonez. Outfield straight up. They don't move around a whole bunch. Could not check it up. That evens the count at 2. And there is into left field. It's going to be a base hit. Sox fans, come out to U.S. Cellular Field for free T-shirt Mondays on Monday, September 8th. First 20,000 fans will receive a Paul Konerko T-shirt. And you can watch as the Sox take on the A's at 7:10. And tickets start just as low as $7. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/Konerko. Here's Abreu. Went out high into left center field to Ichiro. Starts him off with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, the one thing that Sox can take advantage of today is that Martin Prado is a lifetime second baseman. He's playing left field. So he didn't get a particularly good jump on the Sanchez single, and that might not be the end of it. Martin, a terrific player, but not all that used to left field.
Well, Girardi's having to zig and zag and dance like Fred Astaire.
And they've run pitchers in and pitchers out of that starting rotation.
It's been unbelievable. Last 2 years. There's a shot off the glove of Teixeira. Got a whoop. He's got caught. So Abreu makes the right play. And they run him down for out number 2.
It wasn't a particularly picturesque.
Now what are they saying? They're saying he's safe?
I think they're saying that he didn't tag it. Now they're saying he did tag it. Base hit by Abreu off Teixeira's glove, and then the adventures start. This one trickling into right field. Wheeler doesn't have a great arm, but by that point Sanchez had gone a little too far. And the only mistake they made, as far as the Yankees are concerned, is they allowed Abreu to go to second base. He did indeed tag him, and they got that straightened out.
9-6-5-4 on the out if you're scoring along with us. 9-6-5-4. Here's Avi. He struck out his first trip on all slow stuff. And very quickly the count 0-2 on that pitch at 82 miles an hour.
That was his slider. And he kept it in perfect spot, down and in, out of the zone to a very anxious hitter. And Avi coming back after 13 games of a rehab. It's done a pretty good job. He missed a lot of time.
Well, he's in a swing mode. There's no question of that.
He's not going to walk too much. 4 walks this year. He's only been to bat 55 times.
Now here's where you, according to how attentive Cervelli is, well, you might try to force him to throw you a fastball. And you can do that by moving way up in front of the box. Turns that one over like a screwball. That one is 77. When you're having a guy out there that's soft tossing you, you got to try to have a little fun with it, play games with it, move around in the box a little bit, and get him to thinking.
I think there's some lack of communication in that. I believe Capuano wants to throw him another straight change, and Cervelli wanted that ball inside, a cutter or a fastball inside.
2 out and the 2-2 pitch. Change up. And that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is still 1-0 good guys. .610 and the first 20,000 fans will receive a Tony La Russa bobblehead. And be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by all the great folks at Hyundai. Check out the Equus and check out the Genesis. That's Saturday, August 30th. Tony La Russa bobblehead day and fireworks show presented by Hyundai. Ichiro will lead it off. Ichiro at 280 homer. He's driven in 15, 2 for 5 in this series. In fact, he singled and to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning in game 1 and came around to score. And that's just poked out there into left field for a base hit. For good speed aboard.
Ichiro couldn't have thrown it out there any better. Over the head of Ramirez, but not far enough to get to Viciedo. And that's how you put together some of the batting averages and hit totals that Ichiro has over the years.
So here's Brendan Ryan hitting at .222. He has faced Chris 11 times, has 1 hit. Takes the bunt. Takes the ball.
It's Rob Thompson looking in for the signs from Joe Girardi. Ryan has 1 sacrifice bunt this year.
Ichiro with a good lead. Outfield around to the right. Big gap in left center. And he whistles that 95-mile-an-hour fastball right by him. That is not his good move.
Pretty good for the aging legs of Ichiro Suzuki. 85%, 11 of 13.
Two and one to count. Got that one by him. That one at 94.
Ryan unhappy with himself because he knew that he swung at a pitch that he couldn't handle.
Another good lead by Ichiro. That's popped up right side. Stay in here. Change up. He gone.
Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter.
And the great voice, Bob Shepard. Rest his soul. For years, the great PA announcer at Yankee Stadium. What a nice man. Jeter went out to center field. Takes that breaking ball strike. Gap out there in left center field. Avi is short and right. Nice backhand over Sanchez and high
throw. Big break was that Jeter's not standing at second. Carlos had all kinds of time. Derek runs well, but not as well as he once did. Lexi makes a strong play. And this looks like it's going to be 2.
Well, it should have been.
Yep. He just got under the throw and he airmailed Abreu.
Well, it's going to be tough. We're going to have an exercise, some patience. Sanchez is a good player. He's going to be a real good player. He's going to be a better second baseman than he is right now, but he right now is not a Beckham. So we can't expect that.
There's not too many of those guys around.
No.
Defensively. The Angels did start Gordon Beckham last night at third base and wound up with a tying run on base, hitting a line drive rocket right at the center fielder in his third at bat.
One and one to count to Martin Prado, who struck out in the first inning. That was his first time looking at Chris Sale. That's a souvenir right side in the mezzanine.
And although Jeter is 9 out of 10 in stolen bases, he doesn't figure to get too adventuresome at first, because since Chris came into the league, Derek has seen the left-handed move, one of the best in baseball, that Chris Sale possesses, to first.
That ball hit well. Got a good jump. He's making easy piece of cake for Jordan. And that'll retire the side. We have completed 3 and we lead it 1-0.
As Alexei Ramirez and the White Sox meet the Cleveland Indians. Coverage starts at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by Lexus of Merrillville. It's White Sox Indians Tuesday at 6:30 on CSN+.
Leadoff homer by Alexei Ramirez. First inning. We lead it 1-0. Here in the top of the fourth, it'll be Gillespie, Canerco, and Viciedo. Gillespie grounded out softly. Ryan at second base. Mike Winters. Took one off the arm. It appears Cervelli quickly turned around. Mike, good umpire. Veteran gives you a good day's work each and every time.
Just a case of professional courtesy, because Winters would do the same thing if Cervelli got hit, and will when he does.
Breaking ball misses. 2-1. There's a rolling breaking ball softly into Ichiro in center field. And Sox fans, join us on Tuesday, August 26th, as our Sox take on the Indians for the Green Game, powered by Constellation. Now, the first 10,000 fans will also receive a reusable White Sox jersey lunch bag, courtesy of Constellation. So purchase your tickets today, whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME. Paulie takes a strike. He popped up to Wheeler in right. Just had the inside edge of the inside corner. Two down. 3 strikeouts now for the 35-year-old veteran southpaw.
Straight change again, and in a perfect spot. 0-2. You throw it just out of the zone, make it tantalizing, and then it disappears. And there's a young Yankee fan. Don't need the concession stand at that age, but I'm sure it's very enjoyable.
Tank fouls it away. Tank singled in the hole between third and short. That's fair. Chopper 2 hopper. Long peg. And a quick 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th with this 1-run lead. $7:10, and all fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. So purchase tickets today, whitesox.com or 866 Sox game. That's Friday, August 29th. Teixeira, Beltran, and Headley to face Chris Sale here in their half of the 4th inning. Teixeira went out to center field, takes first pitch strike. That was just a get me over fastball at 92. Little movement. Tried to backdoor him and he missed. That could be trouble. No, nice play by Carlos. Stayed with it.
That's a play that's a whole lot easier for a right fielder. That being said, you got to go back until you hear his voice. If you don't hear him call, then you have to take it yourself. And Carlos was able to do just that. Not an easy play.
Yeah, that'd be a mismatch right there.
No, he doesn't want a collision with Garcia.
I tell you, outside of breaking my leg and dislocating my ankle, I think the worst I ever was hurt in a baseball game was I was playing left field at the old Met in Minneapolis. Bert Campaneris was playing shortstop. There was a little fly ball hit like that into left field. We collided. I never hurt so bad in my life.
You were a little bit bigger than Bert, though, as I recall.
Way bigger.
Yeah.
About 60 pounds heavier. He walked away like nothing happened, and I was just, they had to take me to the emergency room. Chopper. So Beltran is retired. 2 down. Bert Campaneris was as hard as rock. And as tough as one. Oh, what a terrific shortstop he was for many years. So here's Chase Headley. He doubled right down the third baseline. Takes first pitch strike. Good, ate him up inside.
Headley's come over from San Diego. This is the 29th game he's played in pinstripes. And he's made just 1 error at third. They are very pleased with his defense.
Well, this lineup they're running out there today anywhere near like the lineup they had yesterday because Jeter was not in there yesterday. But that lineup they had yesterday, that's pretty stout. They can win some ball games with that lineup. If they get any pitching whatsoever.
I think that's been one of the big mysteries surrounding the Yankees is why are they averaging under 4 runs scored per game?
Yeah.
Because they have the guys who can get the job done. They just don't seem to. And when they do have an opportunity, they usually take what looks like a 3-run inning and make it a 1-run inning.
Well, it's that old saying, everything is contagious, either positive or negative. So he walks it on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. First walk issued by Chris. That'll bring up Cervelli, who struck out his first trip.
Headley 2 out of 4 in the stolen base department, so you wouldn't think he'd be going, especially with Chris's move. But I'm sure he'll keep a close eye on him anyway. He hasn't used his best move yet. No reason to this point.
Just off the plate. Right there at 95.
Almost the identical spot with the same pitch at the same velocity, and no surprise Mike Winters gave him the second strike. Look where the 3 appears on our Honda pitch tracks. Almost right over the 2.
Tried to backdoor him. 2-2. He gone. 5 strikeouts now for Chris. And we will go to the 5th, leading 1-0. Nothing. Top of the 5th inning. It'll be Flowers, Danks, then back to the top of the order with Alexi Ramirez. Tyler hitting the foot by a pitch from Capuano. Didn't hurt. Tyler was very proud of pinch running last night in that ball game.
I'm sure he's not going to get a lot of opportunities to do that. But when you get the opportunity to do it, you've got to revel in it, especially if you're a catcher.
I walked in the clubhouse after the game. He came over smiling. He says, "How'd you announce that, Hawk?"
In a big upset, Tyler Flowers goes out to pinch run.
One and one to count. Give him a thrill right here, Tyler. Boy, he put a little showtime on in batting practice today.
Well, he's as strong as 2 guys, but he wasn't facing the Capuano changeup.
No.
But Robin had some nice things to say about Tyler Flowers. He said he thinks what he's accomplished from last year to this, he's got all the tools and made the progress to establish himself as a #1 catcher in the major leagues.
Well, he's gotten over the hump. That's what's happened. He's gotten over the hump. And you got to get over that hump. You got that mirror will tell you That's out number one. Teixeira makes the catch. That mirror will tell you when you get over that hump. That mirror will tell you, son, you can play up here.
Well, that has allowed him the confidence to do it. I think he's always been a confident guy, but you never really know if you can do it until you're given the opportunity. He has been given the opportunity, and he's come up with some very big hits in ball games that help the team win, and that gives you more confidence.
I give a ton of credit to Todd Stevenson. A ton. There's Jordan. Jordan now on the other side of that page. He's got to get over the hump. Physically, he can do it. He bounced out 3-1 his first trip. Off the end of the bat. 2 down. And that'll bring up Alexi, who homered and went out softly to right field.
Well, to this point, both pitchers have been very good. Problem for Capuano is that he's running into Chris Sale, who's been just a touch better in this 1-0 game.
Jeter. That didn't take long. We're halfway home, and we lead it. Trying to get on the board in this series, 1-0. As we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, lower third of their order, Wheeler, Ichiro, and Brendan Ryan. Starts him off with that changeup and he misses. Another one, and he hits it. 1-1. Another one. Tripled him up, and the count 1-2. Another one. 2-2. That fastball out and around it at 94. Wheeler's got some pop. Short and stocky.
He showed that in the minor leagues, has yet to establish it in the major leagues, although he has hit a couple of home runs.
He gone. The old changeup.
Chris Sale has been in control from the start of this game until that out. And he's been doing it with all of his pitches. The changeup has been brilliant. He's been able to use that fastball when he wants. The slider has been just unhittable. And when you're 3-0 lifetime against the Yankees with an ERA under 1, you look just like a very slim, tall left-hander looks today. Pretty impressive 4 1/3.
Well, you know, as a former hitter, you look at every time you see a pitcher out there, you sort of juxtapose what you would have done against him, put yourself in that position. I can tell you one thing right now with Chris Sale, he would have had no problems with a Hawkeroo.
You've thrown you a lot of changeups.
And he would have stuck that bat where it didn't belong.
And the slider would come out of second base, which is what a lot of hitters have talked about.
That bat would even go further. I'm telling you.
Well, he's one of baseball's best.
Yeah, I put him right there at the top of all the left-handers that I faced. He was right up there at the top of the list.
There you look at the road starts as opposed to home starts. He didn't mind being on the road. Nobody hits him on the road.
And you know the funny thing about it is the thing I like the most about Chris? The TWTW. Boy, he is a competitor.
I know one thing, most of the time he does not want to come out of ball games.
No.
And that is a wonderful attribute for a starting pitcher.
Big breaker right there. That's a tough hop that Alexi made it look easy. 2 down.
Alexi knows how fast Ichiro is. And so he's got to charge it. If he sits back, he's going to beat out the base hit. But charging it, he gets him by a step and a half. And I think you're looking at the Gold Glove winner.
I can't imagine anybody playing a better shortstop this year in the American League than that man right there. That ball hit into center field. That's a can of corn off the bat of Brendan Ryan. And a quick 1-2-3 inning. We're into the 6th, still with a 1-0 lead. Game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Sox tickets. So plus, with all-in pricing, there are no surprise fees at checkout. So StubHub, your tickets to upgrades and more. Sanchez, Abreu, and Garcia here in the top of the 6th inning. Capuano has pitched well. He threw that leadoff home run to Alexi Ramirez, and since then, giving up just 3 hits. Soft tossing left-hander. All Sox fans know soft tossing left-handers give our club fits.
And today, Capuano no exception to that, because it's pretty tough to wait back on a straight change. But his best pitch has been a straight change for quite some time. And I'm sure that went into the hitters' meetings when they talked about what to look for from the veteran left-hander.
We were talking about hitters' meetings and pitchers' meetings this morning. He went, could not check it up. 2-2. Well, the difference is today, and they asked me what's the difference in hitting meetings today versus my time zone. Today, they tell you about what a pitcher's got, what his tendencies are, what his trends are. There's a ground ball right side. Ryan. And that's 1 out. And so you sit there and you listen. In my time zone and hitters meetings, for an example, let's say we were facing Mel Stottlemyre, former 20-game winner for the Yankees, who had a real good sinker. And in the hitters meeting, Bobby Dorr was the hitting coach, and he would say, okay, Yaz, how are you going to approach Stottlemyre? Yaz would tell him how he thought he was going to approach him. All right, Rico Petrocelli. Rico, how are you going to approach him? Rico would tell him, okay, Hawk, what are you going to try to do with Stottlemyre? And I'm going to say, I can't beat him on his slider. And I got to make him get the ball up because of that sinker he's got. So I'm just going to try to hit him right back through the middle. Get right on top of the plate and try to hit him right back through the middle. We would tell them how we wanted to approach that pitcher, give us a little accountability.
Not today.
No. And in the pitchers meetings that we would have in my time zone, there's a grounder. The pitchers, we would all sit down and the pitcher would tell us how he's going to get every hitter in that lineup out.
It's the only way you can position a defense. I know you go with tendencies, but every pitcher is different. And if the tendency is that this guy hits the ball to right field, but I know I'm going to pitch him inside with soft breaking balls instead of a little firmer breaking ball, well, my guy's got to play him to pull. He's not going to hit the ball to right field.
That gave us, is that just inside, that gave us better positioning where it kept us into the game because we remembered how you were going to pitch to Teixeira, how you were going to pitch Jeter, how you were going to pitch Mickey Mantle, whoever it was. But the thing is, it also gave the pitcher accountability because he's telling us how he's going to get those guys out. Little looper, that's going to be trouble. Yes, it is. So Abreu with a little duck snort. He is 2 for 3.
It certainly pays some dividends if you're enormously strong. Not for the obvious, you can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but for the fact that the outfield has to respect your power and play you deep. And by Wheeler being as deep as he was, he had no chance. Ryan had no chance. And Jose continues to roll right along, still in the top 10 in batting in the American League.
So here's Avi. Now, Avi, here's a good situation. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, all swinging, all soft stuff. But he's got to make an adjustment. He's got to make an adjustment of some sort. Whatever it is, he's got to make an adjustment so that he can have a sense of control. If he just goes up there looking for the ball, you're probably going to go for 4. You got to have a sense of control, and you do that by making adjustments, especially after you struck out the first 2 times on everything soft.
He's going to see a change up here. Let's see if he can wait back.
If it's outside like that, it's not. He can't. Now, if he gets one inside and up a little bit, then he's got a chance to hit it. But if he keeps it from the middle out, he's not going to hit it. That's low. 2-1. That's low. But to count 2-2. Got to try to force him to throw you a fastball. Now standing on top of the plate, moving up in the box.
Well, there was that fastball. Unfortunately, after seeing pitches away, it looked like it was inside, and Capuano gets the benefit of the call. Look at Cervelli and how he just barely eases it back. That was well framed. I think that Cervelli bought that strike for Capuano.
I like Cervelli behind the plate. Every time we've seen him, he looked good behind the plate.
I think a nice platoon system because McCann handles pitchers well. Cervelli looks to me like he receives the ball very well.
Well, Brian McCann is better than average catcher.
And he's been a wonder with this staff, this decimated starting rotation.
Now, for them to be 5 games over 500, still in the hunt, it's just a tribute to Joe Girardi.
Reason why he's wearing 28 is that they have 27 world championships, and assuming they win another one under Joe, they'll probably move to 29 unless somebody's currently using it.
That ball hit hard. Wheeler goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, yes. A 2-run shot, and it's a 3-0 game.
6th home run. He now has driven in 48. And Connor Gillespie, who has been the most consistent of all the hitters all year long, takes it out of the ballpark on our Ford home run replay. That makes it a 3-0 game.
Well, I said earlier, I'd rather see, with the exception of a couple of right-handers, I'd rather see left-handers against this guy.
That changeup is not going to be near as devastating to the left-handers.
Nope. So here's Konerko. He's popped up to right field and struck out. So home run by Alexei and a 2-run shot by Gillespie. Joe Madden was the first guy to do that against Burley. Stack his lineup with left-hander hitters against Burley, and they won the game.
Let's say all you got to do is look at the splits.
Yeah.
If you look at the splits, you'll realize that lefties do a whole lot better. Ismael Rogers now getting ready in the bullpen.
2 out and the 2-2 pitch. It's full. Got him. Slow, slower, and slowest. That one at 77. But the 2-run homer by Connor Gillespie. We lead at 3-0.
Hashtag Chicago fan photo for a chance to be shown on our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T.
Three 0 Sox here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the order. Well, the Yankees, Jeter, Prado, Teixeira. All right, Chris, just take those 3, put them in the bank, buddy. Still got to go at it like it's a 0-0 game. Pitch, 1 out. Jeter now 0 for 3. Jeter proud on 0. 3,439 hits.
And he ran down the first base line like he was a kid again.
Has he ever done anything
He
different?
let it all go, and Alexi got him by a step. But if there's a juggle or a hesitation, he's going to be on first base.
Well, I'll tell you what. Peter, Brett, George, those guys did everything right on the field. Played it the way it was supposed to be played. Al Ripken Jr.
There's a whole lot of this game that you can't control. And it's obvious you can't control how good the pitcher is that you're going to face. You can't control a lot of it, but you can control hustle. That's the one thing that is inexcusable if you don't.
Well, they talked about it. It can define a franchise. I know when I first came into baseball when I was 17 years old. You take the Dodgers at that time, the Phillies at that particular time, and even the Orioles at that particular time. When you played those 3 organizations in the minor leagues, if one of their guys did not run, they were out of the ball game. And if one of their pitchers hit one of your hitters, Your pitcher better hit 2 of theirs. 2 for 1 philosophy. Prado was struck out and lined out to center. That ball hit deep into left field, but we got a man there. Drops the ball. So he got there. Ball should have been caught.
He's there. Doesn't catch it.
So it's an error, as it should be. That's Tank's 8th. And here's Mark Teixeira. He's gone out to center, and he's popped up into short right center field. A good catch by Sanchez. Double. As Tank having trouble coming up with that one. The unearned run crosses the plate, and this is a 3-1 ball game.
RBI number 54 for Mark Teixeira. That was a high change. And that's the difference between keeping it down and away and keeping it up around letter high and out over the plate. He whistles it by Gillespie into the corner. Viciedo can't corral it. He's not been a good day in left for Viciedo.
Here is Beltran. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Two and 0.
In yesterday's ball game, fly ball that should have been caught in left field turned into a double off the bat of McCann. They got 4 hits in the inning. Scored a couple of runs, and that turned out to be the margin of victory.
Well, the first rule in baseball is catch the ball. It's not pitching, it's not hitting, it's catch the ball. You can't give major league teams 4 or 5 outs in an inning and expect to win.
Don Cooper's going to come out now. He wants Chris Sale to get back to concentrating. Normally, Chris doesn't have a great deal of difficulty doing that. But with 2 on and a 2-run lead, and the perfect day of Chase Headley, a double and a walk. Don Cooper out there to just remind him how he wants to go at Headley. Mike Winters coming out. He wants to break this up and get along with the ball game. And that's what will happen.
One in, 1 out, 2 on. Headley has doubled and he has walked. That double was a shot right down the third baseline with 1 out in the second inning. Tried to backdoor him and he missed. 1-0. Another breaking ball. And that one catches the plate for a strike.
Chris just one ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
Big hack by Headley. Took something off. Ball and 2 strikes. He gone. Good slider. Seven strikeouts.
He broke this one down and in, and Headley goes over the top of it with a very defensive swing. But that slider is quick, late breaking, and usually in a pretty good spot.
So here's Cervelli. Francisco 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs. Change up. And Cervelli in the catbird seat, 2-0. Another change. Good motion. Pull the string. That one at 85.
Throwing the off-speed pitch in a fastball situation will usually allow you to get away with a less than perfect location. That ball was over the middle of the plate, but it was velocity, not location, that fooled Cervelli.
Reach back. Try to put a little more giddy up on that one. High and wide. Wheeler on deck. And that will load him up.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse Multiview.
Well, he should have been out of the inning with nothing. And now there's 1 run in and the Sox packed.
Pretty decent speed at second base. Not much speed at the corners.
So here's Zealous Wheeler, 27-year-old outfielder. And hit him. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Another unearned run.
Phillips did the right thing. He had struck out twice, and he saw that slider breaking inside. I'm not sure there was much he could do about it, but he just stood there and took one for the club. You can get one in the thigh against Chris Sale. You got yourself a cheap run batted in and some momentary pain, but pulls the game within 1 run.
Ichiro Suzuki will be the hitter.
Zach Putnam throwing in the pen.
Three, 6-1 for us, a big one. 2, 3-0 for them. And there's a base hit. Yankees lead it 4-3 on 4 unearned runs.
RBI 16 and 17 for Ichiro. He didn't wait around. Got a first ball fastball up in the zone and dumped it into right field. Actually was a high change.
So here's Ryan. It's not who you play, but when you play them. And everybody's catching us right now at the right time for them. To the count. Ryan has struck out and gone out to center field. And there's a change-up strike.
A whole lot of work this inning. Most of it not his fault.
That's can of corn, but they're going to put a big number on that scoreboard, a crooked number of 4 unearned runs, and they lead it 4-3. 1,000 fans will receive a Paul Konerko game-worn uniform baseball card presented by Wintrust Community Bank. Be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show, so purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/Konerko or calling 866-SOX game. That is Saturday, September 13th. Sox Twins, 6:10 p.m. Pitching change for the Yankees as Capuano will depart. That's Mo Rogers, 28-year-old right-hander. No, 29-year-old right-hander. San Pedro de Macorís.
He's 2-0. His ERA just under 5.5. He was acquired from Toronto Blue Jays. And he takes over for the first time. The Yankees have the lead.
It'll be Viciedo, Flowers, and Danks, lower third of the Sox order. Danks 1 for 2.
Ichiro shifts over to right field. And Jacoby Ellsbury takes over in center.
Peter. 1 out.
Capuano went 6, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. The key was not walking anybody, and he fanned 5, and he is the pitcher of record.
Tyler was hit by a pitch and he popped up to first base. Takes a strike. San Pedro de Macorís, capital city for baseball players.
Used to be called the cradle of shortstops. Now they're getting everything out of that city.
There's the bullet, just foul.
The Yankee pen up and going. It's Hill and Warren, who have warmed up as a tandem 4 times in this series.
Well, that bullpen, as we touched on it yesterday, big reason that they have stayed in the hunt. When you can cover the last 9 outs, or 6 for sure.
Well, I believe they should rest their big right-hander Dellin Betances.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, he's been in both games.
I know it.
He's a youngster. Enough. There's no reason to bring in a guy with an ERA of less than 1.5.
Let him get whoever tomorrow.
They have a makeup game with Kansas City. Yeah, he'd look much better against the Royals, I believe.
1 out. Check that, 2 out. Just missed that double by inches. And here comes Joe.
I think he's ecstatic with what he got out of Rogers. Thank you very much. Here's the baseball. And as Meals Day is done. So we'll see Rich Hill coming in the ball game. We'll step out and be back after these messages. sidearm reliever, although he will throw over the top. He doesn't have a record. He does have a 4.50 ERA. He's a new arrival to this Yankee team. Originally a starter in the Chicago Cubs organization, was highly thought of. They thought he was going to be a top of the rotation guy. It didn't work out that way for him, and he struggled. He had a huge overhand curveball. Had a tendency to leave it up high because he kept getting underneath the baseball. And so he completely changed his motion. He moved into the bullpen. And he should thank his brother for making him a whole lot of money, because his oldest brother, John, took a naturally right-handed Rich Hill and taught him to throw left-handed at the age of 4. And he's made a lot of money in this game. Now as a pensman.
Jordan Danks with 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Jordan has gone out 3-1, and he's gone out 1-3. 34-year-old veteran southpaw with a big sweeping hook. He's always had a big curveball.
His big problem was he used to rear up with his glove hand and not be able to get back over the top and get the curveball in the zone.
There's a breaking ball for a strike to even the count at 1. That's high, deep. Ichiro back on the track in front of the fence, makes the catch. He just missed it. Got a hanger and just missed it. 7th inning stretch. We trail it 4-3.
Today's game and all the action around the league. Don't miss White Sox postgame live today, right after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Let's take a look at what's coming up. It's a Tribe for 3. The Tigers for 4. That's at U.S. Cellular. Then it's hitting the road once again to the Twin Cities, where the Twins are giving the Tigers all kinds of problems. And then it's on to Cleveland for a 3-game series. Zach Putnam comes into the ball game, and Zach has been very good. On for the 39th time. He's 4-2. His ERA 2.03. Save opportunities 3 of 4. For the most part, he's kept the ball in the ballpark. Just a couple of home runs over 44 1/3. And Chris Sale departs after 6 very good innings. He gave up just 4 hits. The 4 runs, all of them unearned. And he's going to leave with no possible chance to get any decision but a loss.
What new?
It's unbelievable. Between Sale and
Quintana is absolutely unreal. Top of the order here in the bottom of the 7th. Jeter, Prado, Teixeira.
And Jeter will occasionally bunt. Doesn't do it all that often, but with that in mind, Gillespie a step in front of the bag, and he'll probably take a couple of steps in with the pitch.
Jeter with those 3,439 hits. A lot of people don't understand. He's got 259 home runs.
There wasn't much that he couldn't do. Power has decreased substantially, but during his glory years, he could do everything. All-time hit leaders, he's 6th. Rose Cobb, Aaron Musial, and Tris Speaker.
That's high in the right field. That's a can of corn for Ivy. One out. And that'll bring up Prado's 0 for 3. Reached on an error last inning, which started off that 4-run 6th, 4 unearned runs. Takes a strike. 30-year-old infielder playing left field today.
4 times with the Braves, Prado hit over 300. So this is a guy that could make a difference for the Yankees going down the stretch.
Or certainly next year. And the year after. This guy's a good player.
He's a good player, and they have a conspicuous hole on the right side with the departure of Robinson Cano.
A ball and 2 strikes. Prado taking some other scores. Detroit at Minnesota. That game tied at 3. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Cleveland leading Houston 2-0. Top of the 7th at Progressive Field. Tampa Bay at Toronto tied at 1. Bottom of the 7th. Up at the Rogers Center. Cincinnati leading Atlanta 4-1. That's the bottom of the 7th at the Great American Ballpark. Giants 5, Washington 2 in D.C. That's at the top of the 5th inning. Full count. Milwaukee leading Pittsburgh 4-2, top of the 4th at Miller Park. at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies leading St. Louis 5-1. Top of the 6th inning. Up to middle, softly hit. Can't get it.
That one could have been squibbed in a better spot, because Alexei had a long way to go, and as it turned out, couldn't get there. Santana is playing up the middle, but this is on the third base side of second. And as Alexei crosses in front, he's a step late with the throw.
Teixeira's 1 for 3. A double, a run scored, and an RBI. Big hack, no contact, and that evens accounted 1. Three switch hitters in a row: Teixeira, Beltran, and Headley.
And the shift is on Teixeira with Alexei Ramirez almost straight away second base.
Right to the bag and rack him up. So the double play, that's the 136th time this year. We lead the major leagues in double plays, and we're into the 8th. Mobile phone or tablet, get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store or visit whitesox.com today.
New pitcher coming in the ball game, and we saw Warren yesterday for one perfect inning. And Adam Warren on for the 57th time. He's 2-5, but a very respectable 3.43 ERA. Surprisingly, right-handers have hit him much better than the left-handers.
We got the top of the order: Ramirez, Sanchez, Abreu. Alexei homered leading off the ball game. Just a line shot in the bleachers and left. He has faced Warren 6 times and he has 4 hits. Now the scores. Mariners were trailing Boston 5-3. It is now 5-5. That's into short left center field. Ellsbury, 1 out.
Javi Guerra loosening in the bullpen.
Carlos Sanchez 1 for 3 today. He's 5 for 12 in this series. Takes first pitch strike. Softly hit. 2 down. So here's Abreu. He's 2 for 3. Went out to center in the first. Singled in the third. Singled and scored in the 6th.
And Cervelli going to the mound now to talk with Warren because this is the huge threat.
Well, lately, if he didn't get it done, it didn't get done.
You know, many times in a situation like this, you tell yourself, okay, keep the ball away. If he's going to hit it out, let him hit it out in right field. The problem being that he can hit it out in right field. There you see his ranks in the major leagues. First in runs batted in, first in slugging percentage, second in home runs, second in extra base hits. I would say add all that together and it spells Rookie of the Year.
And all that together and it's a pitch around. Unless he gets himself out. 2-0. Talking with the guy before the game. We were talking about, he asked me who I thought the most valuable player was in the American League. I said it's got to be Mike Trout right now. They're in the hunt. Just does that pitch was just off the plate, but he called it a strike. 3-1.
I think after finishing second twice, this probably is going to be his year.
Well, it should be. Now, if we were in the hunt with the year Jose had, then he would be, in my opinion, the favorite. But we're not in the hunt. He swings at ball 4. They've been trying to let him get himself out. We go to the bottom of the 8th, trailing 4-3.
4-3 game. Every out critical at this point. And on for the 31st time. Year's record 1-3. ERA an even 3. 32 strikeouts in 33 innings, and a very good overhand hook.
Beltran, Headley, Cervelli. Beltran 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And once again, a reminder, an off day tomorrow. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against the Cleveland Indians. That's at home. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Detroit. Now, the Saturday, that will be a day-night doubleheader. So make your plans to be with us tomorrow. If you can't, that game will be over Comcast Sportsnet. And that's foul. 2-1 to count.
And the two closers loosening up in their respective pens. Robertson for them. Petrichka for us. Seen him the first 2 games of the series, and he's been brutally effective.
That's in the right center field. Avi's got it for out number 1. If you're just tuning in, 4 unearned runs in the 6th inning for the Yankees off Chris Sale, and they lead at 4-3. That ball hit right at him.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's our Miller moment coming in the 6th inning. Ichiro Suzuki stepping in, driving in 2 with his looping single to right field. That's the difference in this game. The 3rd and the 4th of the unearned runs to score in the 6th inning.
Francisco Cervelli 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. For our guys in the 9th, Avisail Garcia, Gillespie, Canerco, Viciedo. Those are the scheduled hitters. And hopefully a couple more.
That was a good overhand hook.
Well, he's got a good number. 41. Of course, that's the number of the great Tom Seaver, who had a pretty good hook.
Tom had a pretty good everything.
He had a pretty good fastball.
That's why he's in Cooperstown.
With the highest votes ever accumulated.
Pretty amazing.
Should have been 100%.
There's been a few guys that you wonder how they don't get 100%.
Yeah. That was one of my pleasures, calling his 300th victory. In Yankee Stadium. One-two pitch. You can see him wrap that one from up here. I don't think you can see it from the plate, though. Almost walked right into it.
You see enough curveballs and that'll send you across the plate. A big 4 in the 6th. And that's the difference.
He gone. And that'll retire the side. Good pitch. We're into the 9th. We need 1 to tie, 2 to win.
And Ramirez, leading off the ball game, hits his 12th home run. And then Connor Gillespie with a 2-run shot in the 6th inning. That was his 6th. And that's the scoring so far. So Robertson, who got a win in the first game, a save yesterday, comes into this for the 49th time, 34 for 36 in save opportunities. 75 big strikeouts in 49 innings. And he's trying to wrap it up for Chris Capuano.
Avi is certainly very happy to see Capuano out of there. He saw 1 fastball and 3 at-bats, and it was a call 3rd strike in the 6th. That ball hit hard into right field. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Yes! Opposite field homer, and this game is tied at 4. Lordy!
4th home run, 11th driven in, and Robertson made a mistake. Got a high breaking ball. It was up and out over the plate, and with the short porch in right field, it's not that difficult to hit it out. 4th home run replay. It's a hanger, and Chris Sale cannot lose. Chris Capuano cannot win. It's a brand new game.
That's one of the reasons I'm so happy. Finally, Chris gets off the hook.
He got off the hook.
So here's Gillespie. He's 1 for 3, a 2-run homer back in the 6th inning. And that is out and around it. Souvenir. And the count 1-1. $43,366 in attendance today. We had 47,594 yesterday for Joe Torre Day. And 43,811 on Friday. There's a lot of fannies and a lot of seats. Ground ball. Ryan sucks it up. 1 out. And that'll bring up Paulie. Paulie's due. He's 0 for 3. Shanks that one.
I think Paul's aggravated with himself because that was the one for him to hit. It was about thigh high, middle in, and he just didn't get it.
He's faced Robertson 4 times and he has 4 hits. One and one to count. He hung it and Avi heard it. There's a shot, but that's going foul. That's the difference in not playing every day versus an occasional start. Playing every day, you take that same pitch, you hit it hard, and you keep it fair. Good eye, just off the outside corner. If you're just joining us, Avisail went 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, all unearned. And 4 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. As he gets Paulie on a breaking ball. 2 down. So here's Tank. Viciato singled, grounded to third, and grounded to short. Ichiro getting the angle, now makes the catch, but not before the home run by Avisail Garcia. We are tied at 4.
Tribe, it's House against Quintana. Kluber their best against Nuese on Wednesday, and on Thursday, Carrasco against Johnny Danks. Guerra stays in the game, and this could be the key hitter of the inning because he's their best base stealer. He was inserted in center field defensively. Now Jacoby Ellsbury gets a chance to hit.
Ellsbury, 2 for 8 in the series with an RBI. But he does have 34 stolen bases and 39 attempts. 09 stole 70 bases.
He just missed him with that curveball. That could have proven disastrous.
4-7-1 for us. A big one. 4-5-0 for them. Jacoby trying to end it right there with that swing.
He got the pitch, a fastball right down the middle, but fouled it straight back. See the location of this fastball at 93. Tyler wants it away. But not all the mistakes are hit, fortunately.
And he starts it off with a base hit. Just muscles that one out there into right field.
This ball is up. It's another fastball, and Ellsbury, who's a burner, aboard carrying the winning run.
That'll bring up Ichiro 2 for 3 with 2 big RBIs, as we showed you earlier. And he's 4 for 8 in this series. You got Gillespie well in on the grass at third. Outfield swung around to the left. Big hole between Abreu and Sanchez. Almost threw it away.
Goes that one away, and Ellsbury might, depending on the carom, wind up at third. So ever so slightly, McKellar come into your picture. He's the first base coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jake Petrichka loosening up in the pen. As Ichiro, who has just 2 sacrifices this year, tries to lay it down, and that was not particularly good technique.
I don't imagine he has many of those in his career.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But Ivy on top, nothing in 2.
David Huff loosening up in the pen.
Former Cleveland southpaw.
Cleveland started for a while, now in the pen, and you've got Stephen Drew in the on-deck circle, the pinch hit for Ryan.
Big gap out there in right center.
The 0-2 pitch is such a good pitch to run that some managers have taken to calling pitch outs. Tyler wants a word with Javi Guerra.
That's into left field. Pack is there for the out. One down. So Stephen Drew hitting for Ryan, who was 0 for 3 today.
Stephen Drew hitting 172 overall, 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
He does have 5 homers and 20 RBIs. There he goes. There's a throw. Safe. Stolen base number 35.
That's what made the prospective bunt by Ichiro puzzling, because he can steal a bag anytime he wants. Gets a decent jump and beats the play.
So they're going to put Drew on. Jeter on deck. And Prado in the hole. This is what you call rolling the dice. All right. Javi Guerra will depart. The Jake Meister. Jake Petrichka comes on, and we'll be back.
.219 ERA.
Number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
You got 43,366. All waiting for some heroics from Derek Jeter, who's been held hitless today in 4 at-bats. The only runner that counts is Jacoby Ellsbury at second base, carrying with him the winning run. He singled, stole a base, then the intentional walk to Drew, And Jeter ready to step in.
Jeter 0 for 4 today.
One of the big advantages, if he does what he does a lot, which is go to right field, Avisail Garcia is very shallow in right, as is Danks shallow in center.
And there's a huge hole out there between Abreu and Sanchez. First pitch strike. 1,293 RBIs he has. Trying to shoot it that way. A 4-4 tie here in the bottom of the ninth with 1 out and 2 on.
Jeter's grounded into 13 double plays this year. That puts him second on the ball club in that department.
Up the middle, right to the bag, steps on it and rack him up. So the walk pays off. The double play, and we will go to extra innings, tied at 4. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
And we'll take a look at how the bottom of the ninth ended. Derek Jeter, who was second on the club in grounding into double plays, grounds into another huge one. Gets out of the inning and on to the 10th with a little chopper up the middle. That'll bring on David Huff. We started this game with a soft tossing left-hander. Let's see if we can end it with their soft tossing left-hander. Combined between San Francisco and the Yankees, 38 games, 3-1, ERA 4.15. Stephen Drew takes over at second base, and Huff has been very good since putting on that Yankee uniform. His ERA 2.60 in 22 games.
Tyler Flowers will lead it off. Tyler 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch, popped up to first and struck out. First pitch strike. At it 88. High pop up. 1 out. This is our 10th extra inning game this year. In the first 9, we have won 4 of them. We played 5 of them on the road, and of the 5, we've won 3. For the Yankees, this is their 13th extra inning game. They have played 5 of them here at home, and their record is 1-4. Jordan looks at ball 1. Jordan 0 for 3. Two and 0. Top of the 5th in Minnesota. The Tigers leading the Twins 4-3. There's a strike. Top of the 9th in Cleveland. 3-1 Indians over Houston. 2-2 to Danks. There's a shot, base hit back through the middle. So good speed aboard. And here's Alexei. He's 1 for 4, leading off the ball game. The shot, a rocket right over the State Farm sign into the bleachers in left field for a quick 1-0 lead. First leadoff homer in his career. Watch out. San Francisco was leading Washington 5-0 and is now tied at 6. I've actually seen Huff before. 12 times. Takes a strike. In those 12 at bats, he has 5 hits, 3 of which stayed in the park.
Be nice to pick one up here because those shadows are going to creep across home plate in the not too distant future, and that's going to make it a little difficult to see.
Good rip just underneath it. Well, there are a few things in baseball that still hold true that are synonymous with the word tradition in baseball, and that's the shadows at Yankee Stadium and the monster at Fenway Park.
Used to watch all the World Series from here. When you play in October, those shadows come up a little more quickly.
We ought to try grabbing a bat when Ryan Duran's out there on the mound in those shadows. Ryan Duran with a very hard throwing right-hander who had glasses that looked like Coca-Cola bottles. Had him out in front, but he just did squiv it right off the end of the bat. And usually the first pitch he would throw would be up on the screen. Good eye. If you're just tuning in, we have 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. They have 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors. And those 4 runs that they have are all unearned. Got him. 2 down.
After 93, he takes a little something off the fastball. Throws it out of the zone and he gets it.
That'll bring up Carlos Sanchez. He's 1 for 4 today, 5 for 13 in the series.
It's not only those shadows creeping up from behind the hitter, but it's that flag. It's right out in front of home plate. Could be a bit distracting.
And there's a base hit in the hole, so he will pull up a second. You don't run on that man out there in right field. Sanchez, 2 hits. I don't recall that flag being in the old ballpark.
No, you just had to deal with the light standards as Carlos squibs this one into right field, setting the stage for some late game heroics for the man leading Major League Baseball in runs batted in.
That's the reason Rothschild's going out to have a little chit chat with him. No activity down in that Yankee pen.
Joe Girardi has gone to that bullpen to the tune of 5 different relievers here this afternoon. He would just as soon, if he could, stay away from Betances today, because he has by far the most innings pitched out of their bullpen.
Tell you, if we hadn't seen him by now, I doubt we'll see him. Unless it gets to the.
I would say maybe an emergency late.
Yeah, yeah. That would be the only way that Joe would bring him out. First pitch strike. Abreu 2 for 4 with a run scored. He's 6 for 11 with a homer and 4 RBIs in this 3-game set. For his first series in New York.
Both of these borderline. First one had a piece of the zone. That one could have gone either way. It went Huff's way.
Two on, 2 out. The 0-2 pitch.
Yumps in the stands wanted that, but that's a good 3 inches off the outside corner.
Yeah, one of those two was not a strike, and Jose knows it. That is not a good at bat by Mike Winters right there. Meanwhile, we'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Let's take a look at this pitch sequence. That was a strike. That had possibly the inside edge. One of that second and fourth pitch, one of those was not. One of them put him in the hole, and the other one put him down. That's a bad sequence for a good umpire. It's too good umpire to have a sequence like that, especially in that situation. Prado takes breaking ball strike. Prado, Teixeira, Beltran here in their half of the 10th inning. Mike, you're better than that, buddy. Where was that pitch? Where was that pitch? If you're going to call the ones on Abreu, where was this one?
That one had the whole zone. I think Prado knows he's pretty lucky to be still in this at bat.
Sure he is. Had him struck out, and he's still there. Three should have been enough, but he got it 4, still got it.
His heart was in it, but his posterior wasn't. And when you bail out a bit, maybe looking for a ball inside, you can't touch the outside corner.
So here's Teixeira. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Takes ball 1.
One thing that Teixeira has shown us in this series is the fact that he's not going to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone.
Two-0 pitch. Way out in front.
This is a power side for Teixeira. 16 of his 20 home runs and 42 of his 53 runs batted in from the left side.
Count evens at 2.
This one had the upper part of the zone, and he just looked at it.
Here you go. 2 down. Here's Beltran. He is 2 for 7 in this series with a homer. Just turning in, leadoff homer in the top of the 9th by Avisail Garcia, tied it up. Right into the right field bleachers. There's a bullet. Beltran on his way to second. Here's the throw, and he's safe.
fastball down the middle. And Beltran gets the daylights out of it. Now you've got first base open with Cervelli coming up next. You also have to bear in mind that you've got McCann on the bench. They're going to put him on.
So here comes McCann. Brian McCann, 14 homers, 51 knocked in. So 2 out, 2 on. And a guy who's not afraid to get a big base hit coming to the plate.
This year McCann's been used 10 times as a pinch hitter. He's 2 for 10 with 1 driven in overall. 233, 1451 on the power numbers. But here's one of their big dollar free agents over from the Atlanta Braves. Avisail Garcia is very shallow in right field. I mean, really shallow.
Yeah, that's about as shallow as you're going to see anybody playing in right field. Beltran used to be able to fly, not anymore. There's a strike, and the count evens at 1. One time Beltran was probably in the top 20 players in baseball. He could do it all. Two balls and a strike. The 30-year-old catcher. Good changeup right there. Had him out in front.
Good change, and those shadows now have moved across the plate.
They'd rather have it right like it was. I mean, like it is now, than where it was with that flag just right in front of their eyes. Full count with 2 down.
Now with the runners going, the outfielders are still very shallow. Talking about Danks and Garcia.
Hit him on the fist. He fights it off. And once again the payoff. And this ball game is over. He is not afraid to beat you with a big base hit.